How's it going, everyone? I'm back with another Destiny 2 video, and in today's video I wanted to talk about some exotics I would like to see return from Destiny 1. Some of them I would like to see come back as is, and some may need a few tweaks to work in our current sandbox. I know some argue that Bungie should just work on new stuff instead of bringing back old stuff, but in terms of exotic weapons we can do both. They can develop new exotics and bring back old ones. I'm not sure how quick it is to bring in an old exotic and tune it to the Destiny 2 sandbox, but I imagine there is development time saved in terms of designing the weapon traits and the weapon itself. Either way, whether they do or don't bring back weapons doesn't matter too much to me, but if they do, here's my top 5 choices with an honorable mention, so let's get into it. My first choice for returning exotic is No Land Beyond. I know I'm not the only one who wants to see this one back, and I'm not the only one who wants to see awesome crucible clips as a result. For the most part, I want this to come back as is, although with the special ammo economy in Destiny 2 like it is, it may be plausible to switch it from a primary weapon to a secondary weapon if balancing is an issue. Let's take a look at the main perks in case you never got to experience the No Land Beyond and are kind of confused about the primary sniper thing. So I think it's worth mentioning Mulligan as a missed shot has a chance to return to the magazine, so I think that should stay on there. So even if this were to be a special weapon, it could be an exotic that fills the role of Revoker in endgame PvP, as they both return ammo, but this one has a chance of returning ammo. Then we have the Master perk, which increases precision damage and kills briefly increased damage to the next target. And then we have Primary Care, which makes this exotic sniper rifle a primary weapon rather than a secondary weapon. Here's where it would be up to Bungie's discretion on whether or not to keep this perk. So in Destiny 1 you could select perks on weapons, but in Destiny 2 you cannot, so I would want them to keep the snapshot perk on this weapon to make it top tier in PvP. So the next weapon I want to see come back is the Dragon's Breath. This was an exotic rocket launcher that was a bit unique. If this were to be introduced, I would want it to be tuned so that it would be competitive for boss damage and would be similar in nature to Anarchy. There were 2 iterations of this weapon in Destiny 1. One that left napalm and one that basically shot solar grenades. So let's take a look at some of the perks. So this was the original introduction and it had napalm, which when you release the trigger after firing it would drop a canister containing solar damage napalm. And with the reintroduction of the weapon, this just basically turned into a rocket launcher that shot solar grenades. Now as for perks, Surplus I would love to stay on this, that way you gain more ammo, or I should say you increase a chance of finding more ammo, and you can carry more ammo. And then as far as the other perks, it's whatever they want to choose, I suppose. Again, that weapon is one I would largely like to see return as is in either form, provided they tune it to be good boss DPS in Destiny 2. I would love there to be a rocket launcher that is competitive in endgame activities. The next weapon I want to talk about is Plan C, which would essentially be like a pre-nerf backup plan fusion rifle in Destiny 2, but in this case it would be an exotic, and that would limit your loadout a bit. Let's see what the main perk on this one was. Plan C, we see is essentially like the pre-nerf backup plan, and it should return that way. Beyond that, there isn't anything too special perk-wise. I would expect that Bungie would make it a competitive crucible exotic, and like I said, I want it to fill that pre-nerf backup plan void, and I think it's fair to come back as a single exotic that Bungie could rein in if needed. The next exotic I'd like to talk about is the Patience and Time Sniper Rifle. This thing wasn't super great in Destiny 1, so I'd like to see it have some tweaks to make it a little bit better in Destiny 2. Let's take a look at some of the perks and I'll discuss how it could be changed. So we have Patience and Time. You gain active camouflage while aiming down the sights. Now, this is a bit deceiving because it makes it seem like it happens immediately upon aiming down sights, but you have to be aiming down sights for a certain duration, similar to box breathing. I think in Destiny 2 they should switch this perk so that when you get a precision kill, you go invisible for a short duration. Also, while invisible for that short duration, the sniper glint goes away. So this may or may not be too good, but I would want Bungie to make any necessary changes if it did happen to be overpowered. As for other perks that I think they should keep for sure, they should keep Third Eye on this so that your radar stays active while you're aiming down your sights. And then for the rest of the perks, they can choose whatever they please. The fifth exotic I want to talk about would be Becks Mythic class, the once infamous fusion rifle from the Vault of Glass. And since the Vault of Glass is returning, I kind of expect this one to return as well. In Destiny 1, when the gun first came out, it was a monster in the Crucible and had to be toned down quite a bit. It eventually became a gun that was fine to use, but it was really nothing special, and I would hope Bungie could find some middle ground between the two and make this usable but probably not dominant. That'd be ideal, I guess. So the main perk on this one was Timeless Mythoclast, which makes it a fusion rifle that has no charge time, and it basically just fired bolts of energy, kind of like an auto rifle or a scout rifle. I would want Zen Moment to stay to increase the stability the more you hit your target. And as for the other perks, again, I don't really have any sort of preferences towards them for any particular reason, so they can choose whatever. Now, there is one more exotic I want to talk about. It didn't make my list because I'm not exactly sure how they'd introduce it and keep it semi-balanced. And that one is the Touch of Malice, which was the raid exotic associated with King's Fall. The reason it's an honorable mention is because I'm not quite sure how Bungie would balance it without it being OP, especially in PvE activities. Because let's take a look at this weapon. We have Touch of Malice. The final round of the magazine regenerates and deals bonus damage at the cost of the wielder's life force. So essentially you constantly always have one bullet in your mag no matter what, and that bullet does extra damage to enemies, but it will drain your health as you fire it. See, this perk could be negated by Bubble Titans, Well of Radiance Warlocks, or maybe even Healing Rifts themselves. So there would maybe need to be some sort of workaround so that this didn't interact so well with those perks or abilities. Next, the Touch of Malice has a Touch of Mercy perk, which says that 3 rapid kills return a portion of the wielder's health, which would be a great perk to keep on it, especially for just general activity usage, killing regular trash mobs and stuff like that. And as for the rest of the perks, I'm not terribly picky. Alright, so those were my top 5 choices, well, I guess top 6 choices for exotics to be brought back from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. And at the rate we're going, it seems like Bungie's plan is to reintroduce all the old exotics at some point, which is fine by me. Now let me know in the comments what exotics you would like to see return. Would you like to see them return exactly how they were, or would you like them to be switched up a little bit? If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and if you want to see more of my content, subscribe to my channel. I just want to thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.